The Haunebu, and ladies and gentlemen, last I left off, I finished getting the green on, which is RLM82. And if you want to know where I got all these, it basically came out of the Late War of Leo set here, which one of those, I was painting a lot of German colors one time and just needed just set came in handy, so that's what I used. I didn't turn all the lights on because I didn't want to flush out the colors, but I did after I got all the green on, if you can see it. I went back in and post-shaded everything. And what I mean by post-shade, I basically took a dark gray and refollowed where I painted just to darken up the camo, blend in everything, just to blend it all together. Did that on the bottom as well. So we are good to go on that. My next thing, what I'm doing is basically dry brushing. The best way to explain it. I'm taking basically the whole color, a lighter color, and a little bit of white, and basically we're just dry brushing, trying to get the rivets. Now I'm not trying to highlight all the rivets, make them shiny or anything. I'm basically dulling down the camo here, blending everything, and just trying to get a little bit of chipping with the dry brushing, and just to tone down, just give it a more worn look, not factory fresh. And basically up next, what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little bit of washes, which I've already started. I don't know if you can actually see it. Basically, it's a filter wash, and if you don't know what a filter wash is, and my water bottle's way over there and I can't show it, you're basically going to put you a drop of paint in your little palette, and you're going to put more water on than paint. Mix it all up, take your brush, and you want to load your brush, and it'll basically be a ball of water on your brush, and just with capillary action, just let it drop, and it'll just pour into wherever you want it to go. Water evaporates, and the paint pigments will stay in place. So we're doing some washes around the edges here. Now I ain't going to put washes on everything. What I am going to do is, after I get everything panels dry brushed, and get a little variation just here and there, which is going to be very subtle. It's more of you're going to see it up close. You won't really probably see it in camera. And then I'm probably going to take a little bit of pigment powders and do a little bit of weathering, just very, very faint on that, and we will continue on with it this next couple of days. I do got to paint the guns, which I'm going to probably get that done next. I want to get the guns painted, a little more weathering, and then I want to add decals, which I'd like to do tomorrow. That way I can get the decals on, dried, and then I can go back in and weather over those. I don't like to forget about the decals. Once you get them on, they got to have just a little bit of weathering on them, because the ship's weathered, the decals need to be weathered as well. But anyway, that's where I am on the Haunebu. Charles P. As much as I love the instructions and guidelines, that's a lot of you got to have a cheat sheet. So I was sent a little cheat sheet here. Someone else has built the model. I needed this for the railing, some of the rigging, and where some of the parts are placed, because this just does not help out. But anyway, I did get most of it assembled. I got most of the superstructure on. And of course, little other tiny little parts. One thing I've had to do is clean up the parts, and when I say clean up the parts, maybe I can show you. And some resin kits, even I'm guilty of this too. If you can see the, probably not. You can see where it's the pour plug is a little, I won't say distorted. That's when they poured it, and it basically shrinks up, and it's up against the mold wall. Basically, it extends down just a little bit, and you got to flat sand it to get it smooth. I'm guilty of this too, because once the molds start going, and if you pour a lot of kits, you basically have to decide, is the part good? If the part's good, then I'm going to leave the pour plug alone, because you could always take away. You can't just add to it, But anyway, I've been guilty of that. But anyway, They do give you 3 turrets because one version of this you actually have a turret on the top here. But anyway, we're doing 2 turrets. So I got them cleaned up. Got the little things added. And I'm at the point now, and I don't know if you might be able to see my little mess here. I've basically been sorting the parts and cleaning up, trying to see which part is what, and for whatever reason, they gave me 3 rudders, which, hey, well, I know why. Basically, when they, making sure that, is it with the kit? If it's not, throw it in anyway. But anyway, got the ship mostly assembled. One thing I got to do, and I went ahead and picked one up. We're going to put it on the display case here, which is from Master Tools, which I'm a big fan of Master Tool stuff. This is basically Trumpeters. All of Trumpeters tools, in case they just work great. So we'll get this, I'm going to try to get it mounted tomorrow. I know a lot of people ask me, why won't you use a temporary base? And I would, but I want the bigger base to attach it, because once I get it attached and then I start adding the railing, I don't like to do a temporary base because you have to take it off and you have to start like basically grabbing like that, and I don't want to grab the photo etch railing because I have bent some several times, and putting it on the bigger base is just easier to do. But anyway, that's where I am on the Charles P. So we're kind of jumping around a little bit here and being on a little bit of the boring side. So anyway, a little cleanup work to do, and then we will continue on with the Charles P. So that's what I got going on today. Charles P. getting its basically superstructure built, and hopefully we'll get it to the base, and then we're getting closer and closer on the Haunebu, getting it painted and weathered. So that's what we got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.